All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
Three consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
Good afternoon, everybody. How we doing? Hope you all having a good day. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin here with you to wrap up today's trading session. It has been an interesting day, one of those days where we thought one thing about the markets this morning, and then we caught a variable right before the open there in the form of, or no, right after the open in the form of a bombing over in Kabul. So that has sort of been the story of the day. How has that been the story of the day? Let's find out. Joel, we'll bring up your charts here. Tell us how we're doing in this Thursday session.
Good afternoon, Spencer. The quiet ranges are no more. We're down 23 handles at 44.70 or 44.69.50. Made a little poke off the open, tried to take out the pre-market high at 94.25. That was right near the all-time closing high. Came up short at 44.92, and we were just kind of hanging out in the mid 44.80 handle, as you could see here. And you talk about catalysts, you talk about things that could take this market off its perch, and it's political unrest, political turmoil. I think I've said so that myself. And there you go. You got the big follow through. Unfortunately, it was a suicide bombing at Kabul airport. Second one happened. Took the index well through the pair of lows through Tuesday and Wednesday. Kind of bounced at 44.65. Really nothing there on my levels. Things looked rosy. Rallied back 20 handles, then came back down, made a new low for the session, and we're just hovering above those lows. So doesn't have to come on the stock end. Sometimes it comes on the geopolitical end. Apple, which was weak, or excuse me, crude, which was weak when we were covering this morning, down 79 cents at 67.57. A little bit of flight to quality in gold at 74.94.10, up 310. No quality flight to quality in silver. That's down a quarter, 23.52.5. Bitcoin doesn't like the political upheaval. That's down 18.20 at 48.885. And Ethereum is moving lower. That's down $97 at 31.2650.
Yeah, certainly. You don't want to minimize what happened today in Kabul. More than 60 people killed, 12 of them U.S. Marines, many more injured. Obviously, horrible stuff. And from a market standpoint, we know that the market can sometimes look for a reason to go down. You've all seen the stats by now. It's been like almost a year since we've had a 5% correction in the S&P 500. I think it's been, what was it, like October, I think was the last time we had one. So we are long overdue. That's not quite what this is today, obviously. But as Joel just said, we're down 0.5%. We're at near the lows of the session. So sometimes we just look for a reason. Maybe this is that reason. But even if we do get a 5% correction, I mean, we're overdue. We are due for that. So whether it's because of this or something else, doesn't really matter. What matters is that we're in this sort of insane period of upward movement for going back to October of last year. So you never want to be because of reasons like this, obviously. But there is more red on than green on the screen today. If you're looking for what's up, the first thing I thought of, and as cynical as this sounds, is you hear about conflict in the Middle East, and you think, oh, okay, Lockheed Martin. You think Raytheon. You think Northrop Grumman. Someone smarter than me can maybe help me understand why Raytheon RTX is trading lower today, while two of its peers, Lockheed and Northrop, are both trading higher. Not sure I understand that trade today. RTX down 1%, while LMT is up 1%, and NOC is up almost 1% as well. I don't know.
Just looking at the longer term charts, RTX is much closer to that old time high within eight,
Mhm.
10 points. Where LMT, you pulled back from the old time highs made, January and February of 20. Grumman, GRU, same thing. Just hanging out here. Now, what's Northrop Grumman?
NOC.
NOC.
And you can see right there on the chart, you see exactly that right on the top left chart right there, that big spike.
Yeah. So, it's whether a full blown war is going to be coming out of this or what the government's intentions are. It's political and it's
Yeah.
political tensions.
I,
And
I'm seeing on Twitter now. There's, I guess, just another big blast. So I hope everyone over there is safe. But yeah,
at the airport, or
I'm just seeing on Twitter that there's just another big blast. That's all I'm seeing is there was apparently another explosion just a few minutes ago. So, obviously you hope whatever that you just hope the conflict de-escalates from here and doesn't get worse. But looking again at the market today, I mentioned Lockheed, I mentioned Northrop Grumman. Well, what else is up? Salesforce is still in the green after their report, though it is flat from the open. We've held on to some of those gains, up 3.25% here in CRM today. That caught my eye, and Amazon being in the green caught my eye, and JP Morgan being in the green also caught my eye. Those are kind of the three things that jumped out to me today, or the four things: the Raytheon, the Salesforce, Amazon, and the JP Morgan are kind of the four things that caught my eye today.
yeah, the JP Morgan, now retreating. Now we made that high and now coming back lows for the session. So you're still having an up day here, but definitely giving back some of those gains. Let's just look at the TLT. I mean, we did have TLT's trading up too. We did have Mr. Bullard on CNBC this morning talking about rates starting to go up. That's good for the banks. So there you go. Follow through move in Bank of America, but a reversal too. Market forces working a little bit against it. Amazon just has caught a little bit here, working its way back up towards the post earnings highs. Not really seeing any catalyst for that. And then what was the other category that you saw?
Salesforce.
Salesforce. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that made mincemeat out of my 271 level. Carried right through that through the open. 275. And I haven't drilled down to see if there's any other levels to that coincide with that high. But what you should note is this: it's going to be an up day, but that candle could be turning into a red candle after the higher open. The ticket 275.22, and now $5.50 off that high.
Yeah, snow is still higher as well, Bill Big D. I was noting though that is snow in the S&P? Snow's in the S&P, right?
Ooh, look at that.
I don't actually know. I guess
I bet
I can look it up, and I'm not going to.
creeping up on that 50% retracement area. That's what we talked about this morning as a potential target. Holding the bid, a little bit of a decline off the open. Nowhere where I would have been interested in getting long, which would have been at the top of Wednesday's range and closing strong.
Joe, I wonder what kind of technical damage, if any, you see on any like the big oil charts, ExxonMobil or Chevron, because they had both had a couple of up days in a row with oil. I wonder, and obviously we're in both of those charts, we're basically just back to where we were like 3 days ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it may be not that big of a thing, but
I mean, ExxonMobil, I mean, you got four highs in the same area, or that make it three highs in the same area, just under $56. So that you made. Now you pull back 66 cents from there. There's your big resistance in that. Coming back on the downside, don't see much until 53.95. That's your 4-day low. Looking at CVX. And same thing.
yeah.
Three highs in the same area, kind of tight. So keep an eye on 98.75 if you're looking for another another leg back up for these integrated oil
Here,
companies.
you know what we didn't talk about as far on the retail front? We talked about a lot of retail earnings, but we missed. Well, actually, it was last week, but Children's Place PLCE, Joel. Look at that chart. It is one of your biggest losers today in the Russell. It's down almost 9%. I don't know why. They had earnings last week. I don't know why PLCE is down almost 9% today.
Mm,
That doesn't look good.
no, not a good formation, at least for today. Just failed. Had a big red bar yesterday. Big red bars usually forecast another big red bar for Children's Place, coming in an area of possible support. If you're long at this one, you want to keep an eye on the 87.40 area. That splits two lows from August 6th and August 9th.
Who was in the chat that asking this? James. James, you can kind of see it faintly in the background. So the top left chart is a 15-minute chart. The top right chart is a daily. The bottom left is a 1 hour chart, where each candle represents an hour. And on the bottom right chart, you get a monthly. Each candle represents a month. But if it helps to make the screen bigger, you can see that more clearly. Okay, so let me just make sure I didn't miss anything from the chat, because I want to get those questions. Hey, you know I haven't looked at AMC all day. Oh, down 8%. Yeah, this is exactly what Joel said you don't want to see. Right? We've seen this before. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. Someone's calling me right now. It's death by 1,000 cuts, right? It's just a slow leak.
Yep, double top. We mentioned that on yesterday's session. 48.30, 48.20. How do we do? Could we contend with the close? You got a little bit. You had the lower open. You got above the close. Then reversed. Just looks like we're gonna time some work, do some work in the $30 handle. Spent a little bit of a time in the $40 handle, but looks like their little run couldn't get even close to 50.
RAG is asking about the $62 level in WDC, which WDC. So interesting that it got the M&A pop yesterday and only gave back half those gains. And today it's giving back the remainder of those gains.
What
So
I tell you?
I didn't notice that.
What did I tell
Oh
you?
man. Okay, I didn't even notice that this morning. Wow, right back to where we were pre-rumor, basically.
Yeah. So I remember looking at the charts, and that's where it spiked up from. So if this is the point of origin, a strategy. If you still think that there is a potential with the deal, you're getting a reset here. I don't know if the deal was turned down or whatnot, but
I did not. I did not see that.
no,
Did not see that.
yeah. Yeah, like I said, with those things, man, you just, if you're buying on that, you want to hear, boom, done, price taken out, $75. And you didn't hear that. All the people trapped, the buyers from yesterday's session have nowhere to go. And now you're back to your point of origin. Actually, this is really interesting because this is the 60-minute chart encompassing the after hours and daily. And it was right at 62 when that news came out. It went to 70. Now all the way back. S&P's slipping toward the lows of the session.
Yeah.
We are about to make a new low, 44.66 and a quarter. That's our current price, 66 and a half. 44.65 is the low for the session. With 65 and a quarter was the low, and then we had a ridiculous rally up to 44.85. We came down and made a new low by a tick. The one make a new low by one tick trick, and trying to steady, trying to right the ship going into the open, 14 or to the close. 14 minutes that closing.
It's so interesting because the report of the first bombing, I don't know exactly the time that it came out, but the market did not react. There was a solid 10 or 15-minute delay.
Was there? Let's go to that, Spencer, because
You're saying there what you're saying?
no, I don't know. At first, I thought that, and then, man, you guys know I hate going to the 1 minute chart, but 1 minute chart, you got to go to the 1 minute when news hits. You got to go to the 1 minute
Yeah.
chart.
Okay. Wait, chat. I'm curious what the chat says about it because I was watching it at the same time as you were, and I saw the headline come out. I happened to have been looking at Twitter, and I saw a headline come out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I because it would have hit pro at like 10:16.
That's a great call. Let's go to the pro. When do we have a headline? Oh my goodness, so many of them.
Look at
Okay.
10:16.
Ah man. So here's the thing. There was a headline at 9:46.
Ooh.
Explosion at Kabul airport. 9:46
Ooh.
gave a headline. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Right.
Oh, so that okay. I'm going with you, Spence. Go ahead,
Yeah.
keep
So
going.
but then there was a second explosion. That was a report a half hour or 45 minutes later. That's the one that
Okay.
moved the market. Because I remember, because we saw that happen, and I didn't even know what the news was, but it was very obvious that there was something new was out. Because that's the dip that you're talking about, Joel, at 10
Right.
at 10:20 whatever,
Yeah, but all
right?
right. So here's the first one. Market kind of shrugged it off. Now, when was the second one? At
It was
pro?
the headline started making waves around 10:30, but I'm sure it happened before that.
What is it pro though? 10:16, 10:17?
In pro, it's 10:30. No, yeah, in pro it's 10. Well, we have
I
a 10. It's hard because there's several different explosions here, so it's hard.
oh,
But
10:30. Yeah, you're right.
10:30 is when we
Well,
have
I
the
see 10:16 is at least 2 US troops
right.
suicide bombing outside Abbey Gate at Kabul airport. So that's 10:16, and so that is 11, 12, 13. Yeah, I mean still, right? That was it. And then when did the big
But
one come
but
out?
once the news of the second one,
10:30.
once we got news of another explosion, then the market reacted.
Okay.
That was very obvious.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, there were probably people whacking it and like, "It won't go down, it won't go down, it
yeah.
won't go
Well,
down, it
so
won't go
that's what,
down."
honestly, we were streaming and I didn't even mention it because I didn't see the market react at all, and I didn't mention it until a half hour later when all of a sudden we're moving and there's another one. So I thought that was a very interesting dynamic. There was a question here from Anthony. Why are stocks dipping on good earnings? Anthony, I saw this stat today and I want to read it to you. This quarter, this earnings season, we are seeing the highest percentage of companies beat the consensus estimates. This is going back, and this data is from, I believe, FactSet. They said it's the highest percentage of companies beating estimates in the 20 years that they've been tracking this data. Actually, I think this might be from Wedbush. So 72% of companies reporting earnings this earnings season have beat the consensus estimates for earnings per share and revenue. It's not normally this good. So basically, what you have a case of is everybody's beating the estimates, aka all the reports are good. But if everyone is good, then are any of them good? Right? Because everything's relative, right?
And but that's that. I mean, what did Triple D, talk about this morning? Guidance trumps
It's a
earnings.
great
So,
point. It's a great point. Earnings can be amazing, but if you're gonna suspend your guidance or lower it, right? Lower your guidance, it's even worse. Yeah, I mean that's exactly right. Guidance supersedes. So
right, and I think, maybe it just doesn't get any better than this, some of those scenarios. Pre-market prep stock of the day, and, Williams Sonoma,
yeah, did
okay?
you see that? Oh boy, right
You
off
know,
the open.
right off the open, we talked about it. It blasted through 200, right? So Dennis is like, this thing could be a 200 in a heartbeat. And then it got to 204.41. And then, the people that, had bought this thing. Now, a couple things I want to me interesting to me about this chart is you had a couple, really consolidation for June, July, and August a 2-day run ahead of the report, right? I added 8 points. Tuesday was a really topsy turvy day as it got as high as 176 and then came back and closed near the lows for the session. So that bailed a lot of people out. That report, the people that bought it high going into the report, just the opens on this one. I think the only way you could have had a heatless trade in this is just 15 minutes here is you don't mess around with the open, you don't mess around with 200, 201, 202, 203, 204. But when it comes back down through that open, if you were quick enough, you probably would have had a little bit of slippage on a stop. But that's where sometimes, just waiting out the open the first 5 minutes can lead you to not only a good trade, but I think heatless trade. And if you're trading a stock like Williams Sonoma, 180, 190 bucks, it could move a buck and a
Yeah.
half, $2 pretty quickly on you. Also on this one, if you're just a if you're just a real true technician, be saying, hey, that all-time high, 194.69. I think that's basically what I said. Anything over that off that report to me was just, icing on the cake. So that's what you had in Williams Sonoma.
And then I saw someone drop support.com in their SPRT. This is what we're used to seeing. And this is like a normal, I don't know, how do I phrase this? This is like a normal, non-abnormal move, right? Support.com is it's blasting off. It's call it a short squeeze, call it whatever you want. If you can trade this stuff, great. I recommend using like a VWAP in this case to find a stop or something. But this thing it went from we just went from 5 to 20 in like 3 weeks, right? So it could go to 30 tomorrow. It could go to 10 tomorrow. Don't know, but yeah, I mean, I would trade this off the view. If I was going to, I would use the VWAP or something, some other way to get yourself out of it if you're in it. Because if you're in it, hold on tight.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's all like hold on tight and maybe
Hold on loosely.
VWAP is what I would say about that. Yeah, support.com. Yeah, I mean,
Tricky.
How many times have we seen this? We've seen this move 1,000 times, right? This is like a normal. This is like a normal abnormal move, right? We see stocks go from double or triple in a day or a week. It happens all the time. They always come back down. It's just a question of when.
What do these chaps do?
What? Oh, support.com?
Yeah.
What does it sound like they do? They I don't know. Actually, let me look it up. Online support, right? Online customer support. Yeah, they provide software for the B2B, right? They provide software for like online support, customer support systems. Maybe maybe we could use them.
Well, you got stuff. You had too high. Not much I can say about this one. Two highs at 1472 and 1505. Now, if you grab that off the open, this is just a tough trade because you went to 16, over 16, back under 15, and then when it came back to 15 the second time, tough trade. Never been up here. Don't know what they do. Let's see. Did volume increase today? Not much I can tell you. If you got yourself in this one, then get yourself out. Volume increasing today, so
that's notable. That's notable.
Yep. Volume not as much yesterday. It had the big volume day when it went 1117, 1167. Big boys loading the boat, and then the boat got a little. I don't know. What can I say bad about it? Psychological level 20, 1999 high. That's really all.
I mean, this is a company with 9 million shares out in the float, and 5 million of those shares are currently sold short.
Yeah,
so you got a lot going on there.
Yep.
Yeah, Susan's asking what the closing imbalance means. So Susan, you saw it from the pro, $177 million dollars to buy. Basically, all that means is there is slightly, and I say slight because 177 million is actually not a very big number. There's slightly more buy imbalances or buy orders to buy at the close than there are orders to sell at the close right now. So if you think of it like a seesaw, the market is slightly tilted to the buy side right now.
Yeah, and it looks like they're pairing off here. You really need the number in the billions, to
Yeah,
really get it going. And since they got, people came back on the floor, the market makers and everything, it hasn't been as sexy, as exciting.
no.
They pair off pretty quickly. But as we go into the final few minutes here, just hanging above the low. If I had a crystal ball under my desk, I'd say they're gonna slam it one more time, make a new low, and then just have some little stupid rally at the end. But we'll see. 48, 44.65. That's your low in today's session. Currently trading 44.68 with just slight buying balance.
Yep. All right. Let me look at. I haven't looked at my earnings calendar. So I know we have Peloton tonight. We have Workday tonight. We have the Gap. We have some technology. We got Bill.com. Oh, is Bill.com still ripping? Yep. Yes,
BLL.
it is. Yeah, BILL. It is still all-time highs for Bill.com. Unreal. Look at that.
Ooh. March. Three highs in the same area. Someone working out of position. Can't call it a triple top, but step up seller. Where we got last couple days, three highs in the just note for you at home. Three highs between 221.19 and 222.79. So you do have a seller up there, still holding yesterday's low. The low 215.15, yesterday's low 1590, 1515. So patient seller in the strength here. Will they be sellers in the weakness too?
Joe, what would you do with Etsy here? So we were at 251. That was the all-time high in February. We got all the way down to like below 160, right? We got to we were in the 150 area. And now we're back up at 212. So figure 50% probably, but
Boom.
what do you do? Are we at the 50%? Is that no?
I was just getting out. I bet
No,
you
we're
were
not.
pretty
No,
close.
no, we're above it. We're above it.
Oh man, why can I get this thing to work? Are we above it by much though?
Well,
Let's see here.
251 to we'll call it 150. Call it 154.
Yeah, you're right. 203, 204. Well, that's where you're at in that area. Closing strong today. I don't have time to drill down into dailies, but I think with this one, maybe just if afraid of heights, move your stop up here and let it take you out on some downward momentum. I just don't. I mean, it's had several up days in a row. This is expanded range day. I'd keep an eye on the close from today, see what happens. It's been a big move. Here we are coming in the final minute, hanging out near the low at 67. A little bit of little cautiousness going into the closing bell here. Let's see. Where I said we'd make a new low and then pop. Let's see, 66.
Yeah, look at that. We ended up closing down 0.6% today.
Right near the low.
Yeah.
Folks, little more downside tomorrow. You heard it here first.
Oh, he said it. He said it before. He said it early.
I said it. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Well, we're only 2 points away from yesterday's low, 2 points low for the low from today. So easily breach that overnight. Who knows if where the buy the dippers will come in last day of the week, and hopefully we don't get any more negative news out of Cabal over overnight.
Hopefully not. Let me finish my list here. Peloton, Marvel Technologies, Workday, Gap, Dell, Bill.com, and HP all reporting tonight. Big Lots, Hibbett Sports tomorrow morning. Everyone have a good rest of your day. Joel, see you tomorrow. Guys, the Benzinga Cannabis Hour is live right now. Please remember all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes and not for investing or trading advice. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.